What's going on, guys? So very excited. This is the three stocks I'm looking at this week. These are my core plays. I'm gonna start off with Burrow. Next, I'm gonna do Dollar Tree, and finally, I'm gonna do Roku. And I'm gonna explain what I'm seeing on these three stocks and the reason I chose them. So let's get started with Burrow. All right, guys. So here's the Burrow weekly chart, and right off the bat, what you can see is that it broke its trend, and the trend that we had was a downward trend, and then it breaks it here. So that's a very important thing to take note of. And the second thing that I see is the spike in volume, which in this case would be igniting volume. And what igniting volume is what you see here on, oh, excuse me, that was is what you see here. And what igniting volume is it's high volume that initiates a move. So what you saw after this one here is high volume and initiated that move downward, and that's why we move down. Then we have this ending volume or igniting volume here signaling a move upwards. So let me just clear up the chart so I don't confuse you guys a little bit. Okay. Here you guys go. So like I said, we had that trend reversal here with volume, and taking a note of that, I would take this as an indicator to go long. And the reason I say that is what I see when I see this candle here, is we gap up above 200, and then we try to go up a little bit, and eventually we just end up coming down. And what that is pretty much a textbook breakout. And I'm going to draw it out for you guys. So we come up, come down to the previous ceiling, which was 195. And now I can expect for this to move up to 209. So that's my price target for Burrow. And just using that as a general price target, you can start to target the chain, saying if it moves above 195, the obvious target is 209. So before you get into any trade, you want to make sure that the previous price target or the previous price level, ceiling, or whatever you want to call it, once it breaks through that price, you then target the next price level. And in this case, it would be 209. So that's what you want to take note of when you're looking at Burrow. All right, guys. So with Burrow, the reason I'm trading it this week is because of that trend reversal. All right, guys. So here's the Dollar Tree weekly chart. And what I did is I placed this rectangle here to show the range or the time frame it took for it to break out. And a couple things to take note of. It broke out around its previous earnings. What we can do to time the market is duplicate this previous time range and just place it here. We're around the area where it is due to break out. Knowing that these are all weekly candles right here, what you would want to do is say, this is due to break out around this time. I can either go 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Regardless, we are in that time frame that price should break out. But let's say that none of this was visible and we could not see that on the chart. What you would do is you would duplicate it like we did, and you would see that all this empty space was here, and you would just kind of use that to estimate when the breakout would happen. Do is you would count the candles and then use that to target the chain in terms of date and expiration. So that's a fun little strategy for you guys. Just looking at what came up when we placed that rectangle on the chart, we see that we are due for that breakout and are having earnings around the corner. Expect for this to break out in this week. So my first target on this would be 102, and the second would be 108. So what I would do is I would try to get something near the 102 area on the options chain, as well as target anything in between this price range, because in case we do break out and it's a big green candle like we had over here, I want to be in the money, and I want to be a couple points in the money. So that's the reason I would target the 102 area, and as well as this previous price area. So if we do hit that 108, I'm already in the money. So there you have it. That's your Dollar Tree chart. So just coming back here to our notes, we can say that the reason we're targeting Dollar Tree is because of its earnings and range. Alrighty, so let's move on to Roku. Alright guys, so I am bearish on Roku because of the fact that the past 3 weeks have been red, so we could very well see that continuation. So you can see that it did hold this price level here. Boom. It held that price level. So what I want to do is I want to set an alert at that price level and say, if it goes below that, I will go short on this, and the strike I will get will be wherever that white line is. That would be my indicator to go short on this. But if it stays above that level, I would not get into any position. So I would just be using that white line as my indicator to go short. The same is true in an opposite move. And the reason I take that in account is we've already had 3 weeks of red. So if we do have a green week, what that would probably do is it would probably move us upwards, and I could use that as a way to get into some call options and, take advantage of that move. So what's very interesting about this is the fact that it did test that previous bottom twice, and it stayed in that range. So what you would do on the flip side, or the bullish side, is you would target that top of the range here. You could either get call options at that price point beforehand and use this as a stop, or you could use that as an indicator to go long and then target this previous high up here. Regardless of what you do, this is a very interesting candle formation that's setting up. And if you were just looking at this without any consideration of what was going on, you would probably overlook it. But what formed here is a very interesting pattern. It makes it very simple to target because you have these two price levels to tell you what to do. So like I said, if it breaks below this price, you would obviously go in short and target this blue line. Or like I said, if it holds that price, you would want to target up here. So that's what I'm seeing with Roku. I'm going to mostly be playing this with the chat, so I'm not going to really reveal much. So if you want to see what we do with this, join chat. The link to join is ReaperTradingClub.com. It's going to be in the comments below, or you can go straight to the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Reaper Trading. I hope you enjoyed the watch of this video. If you have any questions, place them down in the comments. If you have any stocks you're looking at or you want me to do analysis on, place them down in the comments. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. And if you want some more content, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know whenever I release anything new. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Reaper Trading Club. If you want to email me, it's joinrtc@gmail.com. But regardless, I hope you have a safe week. I hope you have a really profitable week. And, anything is possible. You're just one trade away. So peace.